Welcome to the World Instant Noodle Championships. Today we have 8 of the most popular instant noodles in the world. Dare I say champions of their respective cultures. All of the noodles that we are having today have a literal country behind them. We'll first be scoring them for taste and texture in a group stage, where only the top 6 will go through. They will then go head to head in a playoff bracket, where I'll choose a winner for each matchup. Rules: Number 1, taste and texture are scored up to 5 points each. Number 2, I can only take 1 mouth of noodle each time. And lastly, all of the noodles are cooked as per instruction on the packet. The amount of water, the amount of time, no extra egg. Even though any instant noodle connoisseur worth their MSG knows to always go less water. Eldrick, where can I get the noodles featured today? You can click through on any of the links in the video description and it will bring you to Shopee. I'll indicate how much I paid for the noodles, but as you all know, prices can vary a lot for instant noodles. So be sure to check out if there's any flash deals or Shopee vouchers that you can use. Eldrick, why Korea got 3 representatives? Let me ask you something. In what other culture can instant noodles get you laid? Anyone? Anyone else got ramen mokokale? No? Then shut the We are starting with the favorites, Nongshim Shin Ramyeon. The best-selling instant noodles in South Korea for don't know how many years. And probably the favorites for today. I must have eaten Shin Ramyeon no less than a few hundred times. The old reliable. I wanted to start with this to set the benchmark. So that's the reason why it's the best selling lah. The spiciness, the funkiness of the kimchi, the saltiness, just so accurate. It's exactly what you want in instant noodles. Obviously, we're gonna draw an early line here. This is not to be compared with gourmet noodles, but for what you can achieve in 5 minutes in the kitchen without adding extra ingredients, this is very high. In fact, I think a lot of chefs like to use these noodles as a base and then add on it. I'll say it gets a cool 4 for taste, 4.2 for texture, which gives it an 8.2. Let's move on to the next favorite of the day. Perhaps one of the instant noodles that sells the most packets in the world today. The legend, Indomie. How many nights have been made better by this instant noodle? For those of you who have somehow not tried Indomie before, their packaging is very interesting. They have this 3-section packet with dark soy sauce, a flavor oil, and another seasoning, I believe. When I first saw this, 20 years ago, I thought it was very cool. I've never seen an instant noodles like that, but nowadays I think more people have done this. Anyway, enough yap. Indomie. Oh my god. Legit, this taste another mouth. Oh my goodness. This taste, Jesus. This flavored oil, umami, garlicky kind of taste is calibrated so well. I would prefer this flavor profile to a lot of other dry noodles outside. I'm sorry to say. The proportions work to a T. However, the noodle texture is not their strong suit. It's pretty typical, but this flavor, I don't know how much of it is familiarity, but it is very nice. Texture, I'll give it a 3.5. Taste, I'll give it a 4.7. But these two are pretty set. I kind of knew that these two would have high marks coming in. Arguably the top 2 most popular right now. The next 6 are more interesting. I said something like champions of culture, right? One of Thailand's biggest export, the mookata. You can never get by without ordering Mama Tomyum. In a country that loves Tomyum, somehow this instant noodle has its name tagged to the nation's dish. So there must be no less than 50 Tomyum instant noodles out there. Mama does it the best or rather, I think And I know there might be like smaller brands that possibly could do better, but one of the theme in choosing all of the featured instant noodles today is the most culturally significant one. And for Mama Tomyum to make it into the menus of all the mookatas overseas, not in Thailand, I think culturally very significant. Like when you want to add noodles in mookata, you don't say want to add noodles, right? You say you want to add a Mama Tomyum. The texture is interesting because I know Mama Tomyum actually has a decent texture. Super curly if you look at the biscuit right out of the packaging. In fact, it's very nice if you undercook it a little. But the texture runs very fast. Like the texture of your first mouthful of noodles versus the last mouthful is very different. So I'll give the texture it starts with a 4.2, it ends at a 2.9. I'll give it a 3.6. The taste, I'll give it a 3.9. On to next. We arrive in Japan, the founders of the cup noodles. Now obviously there's a lot to pick from Japan, and to be honest, I'm not sure if one brand particularly stands out, but I think this, the NISSIN seafood cup noodle, this is the one that I see the most in pop culture. I feel like whenever you got like the anime guy at the konbini eating instant noodles, is this. I could be wrong, but I'm at least confident that this is definitely relevant. So, a very comforting taste. I don't know whether this is a praise, but you can taste that it's cup noodles. You can taste the cup, which is probably not praise. But I enjoy the flavor. Like, if I'm pretty sure if I tasted this blind, right, I would know that this is not packet and this is cup. But it's a very, very comforting flavor. The noodle texture is not as great, but this flavor. How much of it is actually nice and how much of it is nostalgic? I'll give the texture a 3 and the taste a 3.5. Let's move on to something local. The Myojo 100 Ramen SG Pride. This is probably the instant noodles that I have eaten the most in today's lineup. I think from age 5 to 7, I ate this every night. Yes, I was a fat boy. My favorite way to eat this is to crack a raw egg right into it, using the residual heat to thicken the sauce, sort of like a carbonara. But anyway, I don't think there are many things that I enjoy to the same extent as a kid and as an adult. This might be one of the rare few ones. I'm in love with this taste. The way the oiliness coats the noodles, the pepperiness of it, the savouriness, the spiciness. Even the noodle texture is quite good. There are still the curls. Obviously, you have figured by now today might be a little bit biased because I'm the only one on the judging panel. But I'm gonna have to give this high marks. This taste to me is a 4.9. I like this mix a lot. The texture not great, not bad. I'll give it a 4. Onwards, back to Korea. I know I said that Nongshim was the best seller, but this was recommended more to me than Nongshim. The Otoki Jin Ramyeon. And before even tasting, I want to say that this, while cooking, was the one that smelled the most impressive, the most inviting. The noodle biscuit seems to be very good quality even without tasting. The amount is very generous per packet. So let's get it. I don't believe it. In that one mouthful, this actually just outshines the Shin Ramyeon. The noodle is thicker, of better quality, has more of a bounce to it. The broth is the biggest difference. There is actually layers to it, instead of a flatter kimchi savouriness that the Shin Ramyeon has. This, I want to say, you can taste a little bit of meat or mushroom. The broth has a greater flavour to it. I really want to try another mouthful just to decipher more, but what I can tell just from that one bite is that it's better than Shin Ramyeon in my book. I'll give the taste a 4.4, the texture a 4.5. Oh, that gives us another 8.9. Let's move on to Gen Z's favourite instant noodle. Buldak Carbonara. This just straight out of the packet is so interesting. Their noodles are flatter and thicker, and then there is a huge sachet of powder, which they recommend to add 8 tablespoons of hot water to it. Quite a bit of hot water, and it makes sense. The result is this super creamy texture, super good looking, especially with the thick noodles. Let's see if it's bussin'. Damn, shut up, Unc. Nobody says bussin' anymore. Oh, I forgot this was spicy. It is not stupid spicy, like a spicy challenge, but by far the spiciest noodles we've had so far. This is definitely a spicy lovers kind of dish. Like if you're a novel spice, this is too much for you. However, what did stand out is that it's remarkably sweet. The creaminess works very well with the texture. I really like this combination of sauce and the noodles, and the color is really pretty. However, the spiciness, it does have this like Tabasco ghost pepper kind of scent. There is this scent that I don't enjoy, a scent that I identify uniquely with overly spicy instant noodles. Well, this is a tough one because there are parts of it that I really enjoy, like the creaminess and the noodle texture, but there are parts of it that I don't, particularly the spiciness. Obviously not made for someone like me. I don't know. I eat a good bit of spiciness, but this is still not enjoyably spicy for me. Whew, how ah? Taste I'll give it a 3.9. Texture I'll give it a 4.4. That gives us a 8.3. Oh, that's still really high. Let's move on to our last instant noodles of the day. A Filipino favorite, the Pancit Canton. I told you all the noodles today are champions. This one that I got is a calamansi flavor. It has the same interesting packet as the Indomie. And the yellow thing you see is something like a calamansi scented oil. This is the only one that I have never had before, but it was so recommended by you guys. But can I just say, this is also the smallest packet. Like, what is this? I feel like I can accept small packets, but there's a line. Like, anyway. Oh my god. Wow, it's hard not to go for a second bite. I get it now. I get it. Ooh, that's potent. Asim, masarap po. The noodles on the base, very curly noodles. Nice little bit of, I want to say chicken savouriness. But the kicker is a touch of spiciness and the calamansi. Really iconic of Filipino cuisine. That bit of sourness does so much that even though this is the 8th instant noodle so far, I really want to go for another bite. The curliness is also impressive. Wow, taste I'll give it a 4.5, texture of 4.2. It's a very simple idea, savouriness plus lime, but it's just so effective. So that concludes the group stage, which from the top of the board, we have Myojo 100 Char Mee, the Otoki Jin Ramyeon, followed by Pancit Canton Calamansi, and then Buldak Carbonara, Nongshim, Indomie, Mama Tomyum, and NISSIN Seafood Cup Noodles. Which means Mama Tomyum and NISSIN Seafood Cup Noodles are eliminated. So the remaining instant noodles will go head to head. The Myojo 100 Char Mee and the Otoki Jin Ramyeon will be already waiting in the next round. So our first matchup. For our first playoff matchup, we have Nongshim against Buldak. I just now said Otogi was better than this. Let me just check. Actually, I might have been glazing Shin Ramen a little bit. Maybe it's not that nice. Anyway, the Buldak Carbonara. I didn't mention the cheesy milkiness just now. Very nice in the noodles. Really gives a nice fattiness to it that complements the texture. The result is pretty obvious to me. The instant noodles that I prefer from this round is Buldak Carbonara. Let's move on to the other matchup. For the next matchup, we have Indomie versus Pancit Canton. I think it's a very suitable matchup. Both instant noodles go the same route. This kind of dry, tossed, oily, aromatic noodles. Based on what I can remember of the noodles in the past 30 minutes, I can't pick one over the other. So, here's the next bite. I might have underrated the Indomie just now. This flavor profile is legendary. Anyway, Pancit Canton. The flavor of the Pancit Canton is simpler, for sure. There are not as many layers, it's not as fragrant, but the calamansi is doing so much. It's such a simple idea, but it's so good. The winner of this round is Indomie. This flavor is just, it's different. This flavor is, it must be trademark or something. Which brings us to the semi-finals. We have my favorite Korean noodles so far today, Otogi Jin Ramyeon and Buldak Carbonara. It's really different. The scent of the broth is different. It's really growing the line between instant noodles and maybe proper noodles. This smell doesn't smell like instant noodles at all. And then the Buldak Carbonara again. It's impressive, for sure. I have to give it up. Even though I don't like that spiciness scent, right? Being able to achieve this texture, this flavor with instant noodles. To make creamy noodles from instant noodles. I have to give it props. This is close. The easy answer would be there's a time and place for dry, very spicy noodles and a more classic kimchi noodles. But that's why I wanted this format. No cop out. Can only choose one. The winner for this matchup is Otogi Jin Ramyeon. For kimchi noodles, which I have eaten like hundreds of, for it to still stand out is something impressive. But we don't know if it will win yet. So on to the next semi-final. Oh no, I don't want to choose this. For this matchup, we have Indomie versus Myojo 100 Char Mee. Coming into today, this might be my two favorite dry noodles. Two of which I've eaten so much of. Let's go Indomie again. Wow. I'm not sure what happened now that I'm full, but it seems like my nostalgia glasses are off. The winner in this round is actually quite obvious to me. It's funny that this bite and the last bite tasted so different. The dry noodles heading into the finals is Indomie. Now that I'm full, things taste worse, but Indomie is the one that maintains its flavor the most. So that brings us to the finals. The two best instant noodles today are Otoki Jin Ramyeon and Indomie. The winner of today's World Instant Noodle Championships is Indomie. I am very full by now, and I'll be lying if I told you that instant noodles still taste good. But this Indomie, with their shallot bits, right, really makes the flavor feel less instant. After being so full, it is the one that distinguishes itself the furthest from being an instant noodle. Like I said a couple matchups back, this flavor profile, it might be better than a lot of the dry tossed noodles I've had outside. And those of you who have eaten Indomie before, y'all can concur, it is a very well crafted instant noodle. Good news is, you don't have to choose. If you want a dry noodles, you can go for Indomie. If you want a soup noodles, obviously Otoki Jin Ramyeon is better. Again, you can find all of the products in the links in the description. If you're looking for instant noodles to buy or to restock your pantry, these two are my top picks. But for now, that's all I have for you guys this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!